Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on how to keep your makeup on for a full day in hot, sticky summer weather. So I have a party to go to today that is going to be outside. And I know it's going to be super hot and sticky. So I want to make sure that my makeup's going to stay on all day. So I'm going to show you how you can do that too. So stay tuned and we'll get started. So as you can see, I've already put on my brows and primed my eyes. I'm gonna do my eyes first today. I do wanna use a little bit of glitter. I am gonna speed through the eye process just because I want this to be focused on the parts that you would need help with when it comes to keeping your makeup on in hot, sticky weather. But one thing I did wanna note is when you do your eyes, make sure that you are priming your eyes with like a concealer or something and then putting it in place with a powder. This is gonna help your eyeshadow stay vibrant all day, as opposed to just putting it right on your lid where it may kind of slip and slide. So just make sure you prime your eyes and that'll help keep your eye makeup on all day. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyes and I will come right back to work on the face. Okay, now that I have the eye makeup on, I went ahead and popped on some mascara too. When I use glitter, I like to put on my mascara on my top lashes so that way the glitter doesn't fall onto my face. It'll get caught up by my lashes that I just put the mascara on with. So to start off with the base, I recommend using a gripping primer. That's gonna help keep your foundation stuck to your face all day. So the one that I'm using today is the Milk HydroGrip primer, and we're just gonna put this all over the face. The thing about this one is you have to let it sink into the skin. You can't just go right in with foundation. You have to let it kind of dry down a little bit before you go in with foundation, because if not, it can tend to kind of like ball up in places when you put the foundation on. So just be cognizant of that if you do use this primer specifically. I think that most gripping primers, the instructions say to wait to let it sink in a little bit. So just check the bottle just to make sure, because sometimes that can totally ruin your whole face. So I'm just gonna let this sit for a little bit and dry. Okay, then now that that's pretty sunken in, I'm gonna go in with foundation. And the foundation that I'm going to use today is the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. I have a lot of foundations that are pretty full coverage and like sticky, I guess, that are gonna, you know, like dry down and stay on your skin. I would recommend something that dries down. I love a good hydrating foundation, but sometimes it's nicer to do something that's not quite so hydrating. When you're trying to do an all day type of base that you know you're gonna be outside and potentially sweating, you wanna make sure you use a base that you trust that's gonna dry down. And sometimes hydrating foundations are just a little bit more slip slidey. I wouldn't say that this foundation is a matte foundation, but it does have like good dry down. So that's why I like using this one. Another good one from the drugstore that I would recommend that has great dry down is the L'Oreal Fresh Wear foundation. That one is amazing, and that one's gonna stay all day for sure. And it dries down beautifully. It's not too matte or drying, but it still dries down really nicely. So I'm just blending this in. Okay, now that I pretty much have the base where I like it, I'm gonna go in with concealer and I'm gonna use the Tarte Shape Tape. This is just one that I know is gonna last all day and has really great lasting power. I wanna make sure I'm using something that I know is gonna last all day. I don't wanna be experimenting on days like this when I know I need my makeup to stay for hours and hours in the hot sun. So I want to use something I know. So I'm just putting it in my normal spots and I'll just blend that out with my sponge. Okay, now once I have the concealer blended out, I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline Fit Me powder, and I'm just gonna press this in those spots. And we are actually gonna bake as well. I don't bake all the time, but when you're worried about the longevity of your makeup, I think it's important to bake. I just like to put a little bit of powder down first to make sure I don't bake in any creasing. And I just find that my bake ends up looking smoother when I do it this way. So that's what I'm gonna do. So just pressing in a little bit of that powder. And then I'm gonna bake with my Beauty Bakerie flour powder. This is in the rice shade, I think it's called, yeah, rice. It's like white. I really love this for baking and for just like under eye brightening. It's a good shade for me. White. Oh, my skin is so fair. So I'm just gonna pop this onto my sponge and just bake this down the side of my nose and under the eyes. I'm also gonna bake over here in my smile lines because I do get a lot of breakage there, and just a little on my chin too. These are the areas that my makeup tends to break up, so I just want to make sure that that is set and ready to go for the whole day. So now while I let that bake, I'm going to pop into the Fit Me Loose powder in the shade 110, and I'm going to take my big fluffy brush, this is Morphe E2, and just press this on the outskirts of the face where we didn't set before and where we're not baking. I just want to make sure everything is locked in so we don't have any issues at all during the day. Okay, I went ahead and finished the rest of the complexion and the bottom lash line off of camera, but what I wanted to finish off with on camera was lips and setting spray. So for lips today, I'm going to be using, this is the Maybelline Super Stay Ink Crayon. This guy, the reason I like these is because it's one of those things where you don't really have to reapply. It stays on all day. So I really like to use something like this that I don't really have to worry about, and I can just like continually throw on a gloss if I feel like it throughout the day without having to worry about staying in the lines and things like that. So I'm gonna use this today, and the thing that I like about it too is it's got like a really nice like tip to it, so you don't have to use a lip liner. So you can just use this instead as your lip liner and as your lipstick. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this. So just for reference, the shade on this is number 15, Lead the Way. I really like this one because it's like my lips but better kind of shade. It's basically the same like color as my lips but just a little bit pinker. So I love that. So I'll have this on, and then as the day goes on, I'll probably add a little bit of lip gloss and do all of that, but this should stay on all day, which is what I love about it. Now, when it comes to setting spray, I think it's really important, especially when it's a hot day like this, to use a setting spray that is meant to keep your makeup on all day. So the one that I recommend is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. The thing that I love about this is your makeup is not gonna move. It's really gonna help like lock in the makeup. So I like to start with this setting spray. And I am not stingy when it comes to this setting spray specifically, or really any setting spray. Okay, once that's dry, I'll take my sponge and just press down. So that setting spray is gonna help your makeup last. And then I always like to go in with a second one just because I like a more like dewy finish to the skin, but I want the makeup to stay all day. So I'm gonna go in with the Pretty Fresh setting spray as well, and I'll just put this right on top. Doing this really helps to get the benefits of both, so that you have the finish that you like, but with the makeup staying power. And I'm just gonna pop on some lower lash mascara. I like to do that last because I find that it always smudges when I do setting spray. So I like to be careful and do that last. Okay, lower lash mascara is on and we are complete with today's look. I think it turned out really pretty and I'm excited to see how this stays throughout the day. Hopefully everything will stay put. Another thing that I think is really important when it comes to making sure your makeup looks good all day is getting a good like compact of just powder and just like a little brush like this one to kind of just pat in the areas where you end up getting kind of oily during the day and where you may need a little refresh. It's always nice to have something like this and just like a compact to help refresh your makeup. So that's another tip that I feel like is really helpful when it comes to making sure your makeup looks good all day on a hot, sticky day in the summer. So I hope you enjoyed all of these tips. And with that, that ends today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I upload videos on Mondays and Thursdays. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every single time that I upload a video. And other than that, that's the end of today's video. I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.